I am the spoil. A person has to have tzaddik, whatever, the more the better. A person has to know that he has to be nespoil from the floyis habayre. Thank you, Torah, anytime. Torah Shabetachim Pratis. Thank you, Yosef Yafi. And thank you, Kol Alosha. And we're going to thank Rabbi. We have the honor to have with us the life of Bטחון, Rabbi Galamik. What? 100,000%. I don't want to say things about you. I got to get permission. But there's a lot of things to say about the people sitting here. So, okay. Now the thing is this. You have to be nespoil from the floyis habayre. You have to be nespoil. It was so beautiful. Now, I just spoke to somebody today. You must start getting involved in praising Hashem. And I do it. And the main thing, the number one thing that I praise Hashem for is, look what He accomplished. Look what He created. He created me. You know how gewaldig I am? I'm unreal. Do you know what a tzaddik I am? You can't imagine. Nobody knows. Even I don't chop my greatness. The floys of Habaraya, it says, sorry, from me, I see the Eibishter. I see my greatness. You think I'm kidding? Look, David HaMelech called himself a chassid. You know that. What's that all about? He was the same one that said, Talasani v'lo yish. You know, how did he suddenly become a chassid? He called himself chassidani. I'm a chassid, no? A chassid is more than a tzaddik. I'm special. He said it. David HaMelech, no? Anyway, you have to attack a being a spoil from yourself. And people would do that. And it's true. It's so true. It's a negat haras that doesn't allow that to happen. The air is contaminated with shiftless. Yeah, I'm no good here. I'm no good there. Don't say it's not true. But it's shaloi lishma. But it's not. I don't really mean it. Everyone does it. It's not a big spiel. There's a million. You're fregging yourself up 24/7. You build a case against yourself. You're as if you're an attorney in a courtroom that was hired to put down that guy, and that the other guy is you. You're going to lose. And people are busy losing court cases all their lives because they don't chop with the yah. You have to go the extreme opposite, and you have to say, I'm gewaldig. Even to lie. But what lies? It's not lies. Taka gewaldig. There's so much to be said about every yachid. It's up to you. You want to take me serious, and you want to get moving on it, then you will become greater and greater. Every day you write down your milas, you're going to grow. It's going to kick into your system. You're going to start believing it more and more. Could be the first 100 times and it'll be like lip service. With time, you're going to start believing it. Keep doing it. It's a mitzvah. I was told in Novhardok of all places, that's called breaking midas. Novhardok has told me this. That's called anova. It's the first step to anova. First you got to know yourself. You got to do that. It's a mitzvah. And not the other guy. No way. But he's also, don't complicate it. Sit on yourself. You have an achrayus to yourself before anyone else. Don't stop becoming and devouring the whole world. It's a big mitzvah to do that. If you don't like the guy, then do it. If you're looking down at him, then do it. But even then, what are you occupying your head with? He got Seder Kedushin, and he got this. He opened up a new koil, and he's, what are you mixing? What are you mixing? Sit on yourself. Look what you're doing. You're trying. Trying is gold. Now, listen, I want to tell you something. Many, many years ago, I don't want to say the name of the cigarette, But there was a certain cigarette that everybody smoked. And I never saw anything special about it. Everybody smoked that cigarette. And there were signs all over the world. I mean, all over my world, in America. Big, huge signs. And it said, there was a picture of a guy with that cigarette. Those days, we still smoked, you know. Who didn't smoke? You're crazy? You're not smoking? Okay. Everybody smoked. You know, Rousseau Salant used to smoke? Okay. But of course, that was different. Whatever. Okay. There's a picture of a guy with a cigarette, and he had like, his brow was like, you know, he looked like he was deep and real cool guy. Dressed well. What? Ah, you know. On the horse, with a big 10-gallon hat. Sit on the horse. And he's smoking a cigarette. And everyone's what? And now, listen to this. And he says, a thinking man smokes this. Be a thinking man. He's a thinking man. And he's a thinking man. So you want to become smart. Instead of harving and learning, smoke kach v'kach. I'm smoking that. I'm called a thinking man. And people are stupid enough. So they all bought it up. That was the most popular cigarette. Because they knew how to advertise. That cigarette wasn't better than any other one.
What do you want to say in the cigarette?
What?
What do you want to
Viceroy. Remember Viceroy? Viceroy. I remember in my school for Viceroy was a big cigarette. Everyone smoked it. And there was the advertisement. Now, listen to this one. So you're called a thinking man if you smoke Viceroy. Then there were pictures with people standing around them. Men, women for sure. You know, women, the aside of, for a man, the covered issue of someone of the opposite gender is, Reb Gershon told this to me, is much bigger. Because those guys, or I would say from a different country, there is a certain mystery about someone that's different than you. So if he even says, even all the Israelis like me, then I'm really great. Or even those guys, even guys that sound different. You know, Rav Miller did a great thing for Kal Yisrael. He made a chayzik of the Chinaman, this Russia, this, you know what they used to do when if a girl baby was born, they throw her in the garbage can. You know that? The Chinese. But he made, and everybody, oh, Oriental, oh, they have interesting customs. The way they eat, chopsticks. You know, he made a chayzik out of all these strange, you know, when people are different, everybody's like, oh, he's one of those. By the way, we have that between each other. When I come to a different type of religion, I come into the shtibel, and I see everybody dressed with a special, you know, and they all look like they're happy, and they all look like, I get intimidated. Wow, those guys, you feel some of the difference. So this opposite, a woman, is much more dangerous to the covet issue is much bigger. And this guy, or the other way, a lady gets all excited that even the men said that she's a chashuva lady. So there's a picture of men and women looking at this guy, and they're all looking at him. And he's in the middle with his viceroy. Okay. I'm a thinking man. You want to be a thinking man? Get viceroy. Get viceroy. That'll make you smart. You want to get smart? Smoke viceroy. I said, learn Tyson. What do you viceroy? Mishigas. Up and about, come on. Or learn Bטחון weekly if you want to get smart. But the advertising, you know, they build up. COVID. The message is, you want COVID? Look, they're all looking at this guy. The guy who smokes this and this, everyone's looking at him. And just people looking at you, that's enough. Everyone's looking at him. See that? So everybody's stupid enough to run after Viceroy, because in back of their minds, I heard this, they once did in these treifa places where they go, theaters, whatever they have there, they flashed Coca-Cola for half a second while they were playing whatever they were playing. And they say as soon as the people went out for a break, they all bought that thing. They didn't know what they saw. It happens so quick. But psychologically, you keep saying that and you run after it. And we, unfortunately, are surrounded by a mentality of Radifas HaKavod 24/7, every move we make. Oh, don't embarrass me. No, that's not nice. That's embarrassing. That's not... Oh, this guy I like. Why do you like him? He gives you covet. This guy I like. Well, what do you like him for so much? He gives you covet. Oh, that's the shot. Yeah, let's see you like somebody who doesn't give you a covet. Anyway, I once walked into a store, and I needed a lead pencil. I'm into lead pencils. I like them a lot because I underline when I write in my sforim, I fill them up over there. That's what I do. I like so I'm facing. They're the best. Anyway, so I once walked into a store. I don't know what kind of store it is. It wasn't Dafka such a store that had a lot of, I don't know, they sold candies. One of these stores that everyone, I don't know what it's called, has everything in there. It's on a train station, they'll sell you everything you want. Candies and chocolates and cake. I don't know what. The kids I walked in there, they had stationery over there too. I says, I want the best lead pencil that you have. I want the best lead pencil. And they said they're all the same. There were 4 guys standing there. 4 young guys. Goyim. Nice guys. I think 4 or 5 guys standing behind the counter. And they said, they all started laughing. They're all the same. I said, no. There got to be something better than the others. I'd like to have a good... The Altavan Kelm was makbid on writing. He had a golden pen. You write your Chedusha Torah with a nice pen. It makes you feel good. It's a big Yisoid Samazai. Do it Gishmak. Yeah, our religion has to be done with a Gishmak. I once heard from, was it Chaim Uri Freund? Start from the Bezdin. Tell me the way you say Krishma. You used to see Amalek Yidden. Sit down, take a Krishma Lamita, sit down, put on your hat to see the Shiyid, and he starts saying it with Gishmak. So it takes a few minutes. Say Krishma, don't just, I gotta say Krishma. Make a Gishmak out of it. That's not me you say. You do it Gishmak. But I asked, what do you have that's, but I want the one that everyone's buying. And I couldn't get a word out of these guys. They said, it's all the same. We know the quality of all these lead pencils are exactly the same. I says, okay, but tell me, what's the one everybody buys? So they all pointed to a certain. I asked, is that better? They said, no way. It's just like the others. So why is everyone buying it? So they all cracked up, all these guys. Because that's the one that they advertise all over the tape for television. They advertise it all over the place. So everybody runs after it. See, but it's not better at all. You see, the world runs after what everybody's saying. We need a society. Everybody's learning Torah. I'm not putting down anybody. But everyone's learning because everyone's learning. When I was a young kid, everyone wears a beard because everyone wears a beard. And everyone, my father was the only beard. That was a godless. And Rav Nosson was the only Teilman those days. That was a godless. No one's doing it. You're doing it. That means you're using your own head. When everyone's follow everyone else, I'm not putting down anybody. Chas v'sholom. They're all going to get a big Olam Haba for whatever they do. It's not important. But people don't have their own brains. And the Vardigas used to go to the forest. What's the forest? I was there last night with a group of my Chevra. We decided we're bringing back the Vardig in business. We went to the forest yesterday, a couple of young alike. We put on a fire over there. And the Vardig, they call that Yar. Go to the forest. And they go into the forest. You should know the Breslovas are not too far away from the Vardigas. Was learning Musa on a picnic table. I'll tell you, I don't know if that's Dafka what we did back in France. I never really saw them. I did once see them. Oh boy, Rabbi Isai. First year I went there, they were still hot. The years when I went there, I can't forget it. They went into the forest Thursday night. They went into the forest, a big base Havidus, about double the size of this room, maybe more than that. And the whole island packed in there. There was a very stark chabura those days. The altar of Bachram were very stark. And they sat and learned Gemara an hour, 2, I don't know what. And then they started learning Musa. Oh, they were screaming. And the Musa was fire. And then everybody stopped. And then they sat around the table. And speakers, you speak, you speak, you speak. It was dark. They put on the candles. And they started singing the Gunim. Leiv tar bara lelikim. That was one of the favorite Nigunim. Leiv tar bara lelikim. They had a different niggin for it. I like the American one better. But whatever it is, they sang a niggin. Musar Hashem b'ni al tzimos. Well, they Musadik and Nigunim, they're singing Geshmak together. And they're all vacant. And then, I remember, I think it was Reza Schwartz got up and he stood by and he says, Avinu, they started with Avinu Malkeinu. It was so beautiful. And then he has, Rabbeinu Shalom, please, please give me some more anova. Now, if I would get together with my Olam, they would get together and say, Rabbeinu Shalom, Tain Belibi, much, much more gaiva, and I'll be okay. I'm serious. I would ask for a gaiva. What's the question? I have to. I'm Samech on your Shabbat Melch Yehuda, but you believe Dr. Hashem. I'm Samech on Raboba, I'm Samech on Rav Hutna, I'm Samech on the Adam of Slabodka. What are you talking? I got Yeshamil Lisbech. I'm Samech on the Chavas Albavas, who speaks that before Anava, you got all of him. Anyway, and then they davened, and they were singing, and one guy talked, and another guy talked, and they spoke with a certain ruach, a fire, and then they davened Meir. Oh boy, was that a Meir. The Meir, it was like a build-up, a few hours of putting in ruach. By the time they hit Meir, they were in a different world. The way they daven Meir. Now I want to tell you, the Novandigas, I'm going to reveal something very controversial. I love it's not so controversial, Nishkefala, but I try to make things levitate. Do you know that Novandigas scream during Shemona Esrei? Yes. They scream during Shemona. Not the words. They just now. The first 3 brachas, they don't do that. I saw this. This was that minute. I should have asked exactly but that's what they did. And during Shemona Esrei, it's fire. In the middle of, you don't know what Shemona Esrei you're going to have. In the middle of Shemona Esrei, before you say, Ashiveinu Avinu L'Seinu Sechawai. You don't say the words loud. The words, Musanigin. Not the words you don't say loud. No. But in between the words, you're screaming with a Musanigin. I remember there was a certain guy there, he was one of the tough. There was a group of Chashava in Galite, from the oldest, I think they were still Bachram. They were the oldest group, a very festive group. They were best friends with each other. They had a chabura. I remember one of them especially. I liked him. I remember his nigga. Ma. He was fire. He had his own. Listen. What? Wake yourself up. You're sleeping. You're ma'ida yourself. His sight it is. Rabbi Yalapian once described what learning Musar is. Madam zog ma'ida zayin. Kumi yidi, yisaydi, guy. I met a guy today. I was shopping today. I met a guy. I complimented him. I want him to join I want to convert him. I'm a missionary activities. Beware. Mendel is after you. I want to get more people into Novandig. Are you Novandig yet? We'll get, 1 second. I'm into heavy duty missionary activity. In fact, I'm looking for people to help me out. Let's convert everybody. Anyway, so this guy, I met him. He's a powerhouse. I saw it right away. This guy is not a regular guy. He was alive. He overcame a certain weakness, and now he helps hundreds of people do the same thing. I saw right away, this guy's different. And I told it to him, by the way, you're alive. I noticed that, the sparkle in your eyes. You're not like, And I said, you want to really be alive? Join a Vade. Because when you get yourself a stempel, it gives you energy. A stempel. But if you have a movement with a tachlis, a movement, something above yourself, communism, socialism, Zionism, the worst Rishoyim. The isms, an ism could, that's how they got so many people. They felt great about themselves. I'm a Bundist. You know what that is? We got a whole movement going on. You feel good when you're part of a movement. Now I'm going to get very, 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 very nasty. You ready? It's almost Tisha B'Av. It's got to be Lebedik now. You know, I'm a Kapitchenitzer. You know that a Kapitchenitzers are not sensitive to, okay. Do you know that Rabban Cutler would not go on a plane. He was on the way to catch a plane to Eretz Yisrael, and he turned himself around to get a bracha from the Kapitchenitzer Rebbe. It was Reish Chodesh, and the Kapitchenitzer Rebbe came down when his talis and film. Rabban was waiting outside to give him a bracha. When the Kapitchenitzer found out later on that Rabban came special to say goodbye to me, he was ready to miss the plane. I need a bracha from the Rebbe. The Rabban was a misnagid. He was a misnagid. He was not a Hasidic Jew. He was a misnagid. He had a different shita. However, he wanted a bracha for the Kapitchenitzer Rebbe. How's that? Did Achsidim what Achsidim as Chassidish as Rabban was? I'm joking. But he went to get a bracha. He loved them. Rabban and the Kapitchenitzer were like this. They loved each other. And Kapitchenitzer heard that Rabban came special for him. He burst out crying. What are you talking? Now, but I'm not getting involved in. I just want to say the following. Shitas are dangerous to your health. As much as I'm going to push Novandig and push this and push that, I encourage. I meet a guy with a shita, I say, you stay like that. You got a flag, where Rabbi Miller speaks about it. You have a flag. There go Machne Ephraim. The Torah is full of that. A flag, hold it up with proud. We are from this Shavit. Get lost, everybody. We're one of those. And we appreciate ourselves. Every Shavit has to feel we are special. And respect who you are. Hashem made the world like that. Every person's different. You're part of a group. Respect your group. You know what I do? There are certain groups that come, certain guys come to me, not from mine. And I tell them, you know, you are one of those. That's a big schus. That group did a lot for Klal Yisrael. I do that. You got to respect yourself for that reason alone. He looks at it like, yeah, we're all like that. No. Respect yourself. I'll tell you, Achasidim. I see the shit more than once. Hey, guy's broken, this and that. I says, you know, you see the sheet. I have a lot of respect for you. See, the sheets are very special. Klal Yisrael owes them a velt. What would we be without you guys? Rav Shach once wrote a letter about Chassidim. Oh, we went out there, we'd be in trouble. 3/4 of Lakewood are Chassidish Einiklach, including the Rosh Yeshivas. We're all like, what's the difference? We're all great. Rather, I happen to like Litvaks, like not Stam. I'm crazy over Litvaks. Okay. And most, I like good old American Harrys, one of us. They're Gavaldik. Us guys are the best of the best. I just want to say something. Now, I know it's not Negeya. I want to say first, I'm making it clear. This is a statement that I take achrayus for. The whole Klal Yisrael today is totally out of that sugya of fighting around. It's dead. There's no wars between this type and that type. It's over. Whoever I meet, seriously, I meet guys who look totally different than me and act different and have different minhagim and in different groups, and they're best friends with me. I meet them all the time. There's nothing going on. It's, you know, I hate to break the news. It's not too much action. I'm joking. There's no fighting. Come on, let's make a sheet. Okay, your Rebbe said like this, my Rebbe holds different, and I go like mine, and yours is wrong, and mine is right. It's dead. The world, unfortunately, it's over. The Gulish Shlema is around the corner. I am made. It's over. Now, why do I speak like this? Is it taka over? First of all, I am a gain olam. And by the way, my nature is, I'm a little bit, you know, when I was a kid, they used to fool me easily. I was one of those guys that didn't chop, that didn't hear, that didn't. What would I do without Rabbi Yosef Yafi? I don't know how to work these things. You know, I'm a little bit like Shay. I'm one of those. The kids are. But every mila, every chesaron has a mila. The mila I have is, I don't know what's flying. I heard there was once politics in a certain whatever. Ad hayayim, the whole world knew except for me. And my father's Zatzal was like that. My father, somebody in my family once tried to speak Lashon Hara to my father. My father used to speak Yiddish to us. And this sibling of mine tried to tell some Lashon Hara. My father was very nice to that, my sibling. But when my father heard Lashon Hara, my father said, "Ich weiß nicht, was du redest. I don't know what you're talking about. Get lost." He just he couldn't stomach that stuff. Leave me alone with that. Rabbi Jacobs was gewaldig in that. If he heard anything a little bit negative about anybody, he didn't say, "Don't talk Lashon Hara." No. He said, cut it. Okay, come on. Let's get out of this stupid, ridiculous conversation. Like he had his way of making a bittle. Who wants to get involved in dirt? You're crazy. You have nothing better to do. Oh, he did, and we're good, and that bad, and I'm bad. You have nothing to do with yourself. You're bored. Anyway, by the way, that's where jihad comes from. Jihad was created for bored Arabs. When somebody has nothing to do with himself, and he has no self-esteem, I'll tell you the best way out of that problem. Jihad! Holy war! Show them, boom, 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 boom! Go to war, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel important. I'm part of those guys. They kill each other. We went on in Lebanon, Hashem Yerachim, 100,000 people killing, street fighting. There's pictures of what the entire beautiful structures in Lebanon, what they had, it's all over the place. They're busy killing each other. In Africa, tribal warfare, what goes on there? Everyone busy shechting out, get you back, you killed so-and-so, I'm going to kill you. It gets levitic. Finally, things are getting levitic. People like action. That's why I say the best thing is to watch a baseball game for a guy. Let him watch his baseball game. That like makes a little action. He won. They go Meshuggah over there. But Baruch Hashem, they mamish go Meshuggah. No! Our guys, people they get heart attacks. And if this guy lost, we lost, my team won, and your team, they get So that's a very good mahalach. Better than jihads. You know, so my team, no, our guys are going to win. And they live in it. They can't sleep at night because which team's going to win. They used to have this Yainist. The guys wanted to hear what happened with the World Series. You know, I'm only get the baseballs and the footballs. That's a much better way to go. But a person has a geschmack. I got a shita. That's why I like to push Novandik, because you'll have a shita. Give yourself a stempel. I have some. Feels good. A lot of gayas. A lot of it has to do with you got a shita, you're happy. Now listen to this. Listen to this. Unfortunately, I know 2 horror stories that happened in pre-war Europe. I don't know if I should go into all the details, but I know 2 stories. And one was told to me by a world-famous person who was called the Tzaddik of Muncie. I heard it third hand. So I got to check out more. But this is the stories, where there are 2 sects, 2 Jewish sects, got into a fight with each other. And there was somebody from the other side who had come, for whatever reason, he had to move. And he's surrounded by the other type. And the other type was Mavaze him Barabim in the most unbelievable bizyonis. They really did a job on him. And the name of that city was Auschwitz, or whatever that means. The PS of the story is, that's exactly Auschwitz. on that spot. Auschwitz was a Jewish city. I met a man who lived in Auschwitz. He lived there, what? There was a yeshiva there. Before the war. There you go. A yeshiva. And there were two types of Jews. I'm not going into any details. That were at war with each other. And one of them was visiting the other one. And they were vazim. They made him sit on the floor. I don't want to go into it. It's a mavazim barabim. They hurt him because he's different types. So what if he's different than you? You own the world, huh? Now that's one story. That place was Auschwitz. Do you know what you're doing when you dislike a guy from it? Do you know that his hat and his uniform and everything is all a fake out? The whole sheet is a fake out. The Eibishter wants to see, are you going to have Ahavas Yisrael with people that are very different than you? That talk different, that sound different, that act different? Can you handle that? Are you going to go, oh boy, I don't like those guys? Or you going to understand they're different, so what? You got to do that with your wife also. You got to do that with your chavrusa. A woman and a man are steers. You have to understand a woman's not, she's different. A lot of guys they have a hard time understanding. The house has to be this. Oh, come on. Why don't you learn a Taisus lady? You're out of it. That's a good man who really don't chop that a lady doesn't learn Taisus. Leave her alone. Or the lady, why don't you become more, put together? She thinks he's a lady. He's not. He's a man. People have to understand they're different. Understand someone who's different. That's the whole idea of marriage. To understand someone who's going to do a bunch of stuff that's very different. You have to tell too. You have to respect. She needs it. Give it to her. She has to, he's a little crazy. So are you. So understand each other. That's all relationships. The same guys who have fights with cheetahs very, very, very often also have fights among their own people. Take a look at those guys, the big warriors. You know what the Chofetz Chaim said? You people think there's different shitas. He says, in the Olam Haba, there's a hot Yidden who are fire of Avodas Hashem. They could have worn whatever hat you want. They were both on fire in their own shita. Totally different world. This guy's learning, this guy's chesed. It's not important. They were both on fire in Avodas Hashem. They're together in Gan Eden, even though they had different shitas. And the cool guys who are not so, and the guys that are really watered down, they're a little bit not so into what they're supposed to be doing. They're all together with each other. So what your shita won't help you nothing in the next world. The shal is how much I'm going to tell you, Murdig Chazal. There was a Tana whose name was Reb Shua ben Elam. It's a medrash. And he wanted to know who his partner in Olam Haba. And they showed him, was it Nanas the Butcher? Nanas the Butcher? You know your stuff. It's good to have you around. Now, Nanas the Butcher. And Nanas the Butcher had kibbut of aim or kedusha, kibbut of. Nanas the Butcher, he wanted to see, he found out that his partner in Gan Eden is Nanas the Butcher. So he comes and visits Nanas the Butcher, he's a big burly guy who can't open a Gemara to save his life. He never looked at a Taisa since he was born. It may have been a little better than that, but not much. And what does he do? He goes all out for his father and his mother. And Yeshua ben Elam, whose legs in Torah, he's a Tana. He's a Malach Alikim, a Tana, learning Torah day and night. It finds out Yeshua ben Elam is your partner in the next world. So he said, I got to meet him. And he went to meet him, and he sees the man's a nobody. But in his kibbut avei, he was Rees. He said, now I'm happy. I'm so satisfied. Now he is going to be his chavrusa in Gan Eden. That's the story. And he saw how great he was in his field, and he was happy. I got a kasha in the whole story. I'm very happy that they're both on the same level, each in its own way. But it's two different drachim. What's the safa mishutefes beinayim? You know what that means? What's the common? What are they going to talk about? He doesn't know what a Taisus is. He's not into this kibbut avayim. He's not a different. He's busy with this. How are they going to communicate? The teretz is, The connections between people may not even have to do so much with what type of avodah they're doing. There's a pneumistic connection, like the Chofetz Chaim said. He's on fire and he's on fire in his way and his way. So even things like this are so irrelevant. Even what type, he's this type, it's all baloney. And all this disguise of the Yetzer Hara, of giving you a sheet that it puts, hey, those guys think they own the world. I don't like them. That's the Yetzer Hara. Nothing more. He has to do that. It makes him feel happy. You leave him alone. You also have to do certain things that to keep you going. Understand somebody who's different than you. That's the challenge that'll bring the Gula Shlema. Ephraim lo yikana as Yehuda. Yehuda lo yikana as Ephraim. They had different types way back. Hashem purposely made this type and that, and he purposely put a guy that you can't stand to live across the street from your house. He's watching. Hashem is watching the show. How are you going to deal with that guy? Oh, why did that Meshuggah have to deal? That's so different. By the way, here's the second story I heard. This one I heard more than once. I'll just tell you the name of the city. The city was Lumja. And I know which person they said it happened. I could check it out. But it's fine. The story's great. Great. It's terrible. Two different religions got together. One of them went in a different direction. He had to, whatever reason. They took his hat, the guys from the other, and they smashed it on top, in front of an Aron Kodesh. I forgot the details. It's not important. But they were mavaza him, but good for being different. You know what happened in that city in Lumja when the war broke out? Chaim Shapiro, he used to write for the Jewish Observer, Tidy Yid from Baltimore. He has an Anical learning here in Lakewood. He told me about Novandi. He was a great person. Chaim Shapiro writes, the Nazis came down in jet planes, and there were small jet planes, but they were powerful, and you could see the pilot. They flew so low, and they shot his brother. Nebuch, he had a 3-year-old brother, a little bubble Azizkite, and they shot him in the head. Hashem Yirach. And the little kid was screaming at the top of his lungs. And they brought him in the house, and 3 days later he was nifta. That's the city. Whatever it is, not important. I'm not going to start shepherding whatever. But those are two stories that I know happened before the war. It was machloikis. In Novhardok, Reb Gershon told over, they were hiding from the Nazis under the ground. And the whole bunch of people were there, from Yidden were there. In walks 2 known Rosh Yeshivas who hated each other like poison. And everybody was watching them. How are these guys going to act? And under these, there's not, you put your head out for 1 minute. Do you know the Yidden preferred getting killed than being caught alive? Because what the Nazis did to them, you don't want to hear about it. They were unbelievable. So so these two, in such a situation, they wanted to know how they're gonna, how these people are gonna deal with each other. They were known, a lot of hatred went on between them. Reb Gershon told the story. They both came downstairs. 2 Rosh Yeshivas, Chashuva mentioned. And right away, they looked at each other. You're here? You're here, huh? You ever hear Evrosoi Shmuro Lanetzach? That's Esav. I hate you to the very end. We hate those Jews. We'll throw them in fires, whatever. They hated each other right there. Right with the Nazis right on top of them. Didn't help. The whole Malchamavis, it didn't help. You don't work on Midas, boy, you're in trouble. So they asked them, Da Eichet? Here also? You're going to be like that? And they answered, yes. Da Eichet. Here also. You see, and I'm going to make a joke. I don't see this happening these days, but well not. But I do say, Mashiach still isn't here. So it could be, I don't know all the answers. If you have an ayin tova, and you insist like the bells at Ebba. They're all great. Say it. You know how much power you have? I'm going to tell you something I just did now. Boy, did I do a spitzel. I take credit for this. This morning, something happened in the Israeli Knesset. The Israeli Knesset. I might not have it perfect because I'm not such a bucky. But I know that this Heintige Knesset, not quite the Tzadike Hadar. That's pretty much the situation. It's rock bottom. All the bums got together who hate religion with a passion. And these guys, otherwise, the other guys before were tzaddikim compared to these guys. These guys are like that shaykh, lahash b'lahari. The hatred for Yiddishkeit is beyond. So they got together and they decided we're getting together and we're going to make the get all the rabbanim and all the dayanim, any official religious position, it's over. You lost it. No more Rosh Kollel. It's ours. We're getting all those positions belong to all these guys who have no shayim. It's ours. The next Rav is going to be a guy who's Machal Shabbos, anti-religious. He's the Rav, he's the Dayan, you guys, no more. In Israel, this happened this morning. Check it out. If I'm saying it wrong, it's the point I want to bring out. Listen closely, what happened. We are taking over all the Friar guys you guys aren't Rabbanim. It's over. I once met a Schwarzer in a subway station in New York. He had a turban, something, and he had a Magen David. And I looked at him, hello. He says, well, I'm from a certain group, and it's, according to us, I am Jacob, you're Esau. I'm Esau, he's Yaakov. That's what he holds, go handle with him. I said, that's very nice. You sit and learn. It says, Yaakov ish tam yeshiv ayolim. You guys learning anything? Anyway. He said, I'm Yaakov, you're Esau. That's what he believes. It's a shita. It's great to have a shita. Shita. It's a shita. No, don't play games with shitas. It's a policy. And all our friends, we all believe like that. Okay. Ilam Gailam. Anyway, so what happened? So where am I up? Okay, so this morning, it just happened. Check it out. I just heard it. So they all got together. It was like 50-50. And one of the shadows, are they going to vote for that or not? That say goodbye to all Rabbanim, Rosh Yeshivas. It's done. We are the Rabbanim, Rosh Yeshivas. You're out of it. What? Don't ask me how they're going to deal with that. So they decided on that this morning. And then, by mistake, one of their chevra pressed the wrong button, which says he's against it. Now, Lapid, I don't know what his name is, one of the worst of the worst, one of his strongest, anti-religious. By mistake, he pressed the button that's against this whole business, just like the Fruma. And that was the overriding button, the Machriya, and we won. It became battle, the whole shtusim. And they went berserk. This is what happened. The Knesset went wild. And all those guys, it's not right, but he really was on our side. But the guys in charge, the lawyers, I don't know what they were, the whole tumult went on. The Frum guys were laughing and jumping. Whoa, we got you, but good. And he said, it's not fair, but the rules are, even if you pressed it by mistake, it's chal. It's chal. So it's over. That happened this morning. Now, I want you to know, I take credit for that. I'll tell you why. When you say something, you're inviting similar things. I faf the belt. When I see who's president, Now, of course, I didn't lechatchila vote for Biden, but I didn't vote for Obama either. Obama was an anti-Semite, like you can't be masik. The first week he was in power, they thought this is Hitler Machshemai II. And he started signing for all the guys who were responsible for all this violence and blowing buses, all these, and they were in jail. You got to be nice to them. That was the first week he's doing that type of stuff. It was ridiculous. And I said, I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of this guy. I voted for the Eibishter. And I vocalized it. It says, Eibishter, I'm voting for you. I'm not impressed. Now, you think you just talk and nothing happens? I take responsibility for what Obama did. Listen to this. Obama didn't kill nobody. Listen to what, that week that he won, and the whole world was sitting like this, and I was laughing. He ain't scaring me. Eibishter's in charge. You need one b'tachon, enough to take care of the world. That's the way it goes. So I said, watch this. Sure enough, I opened up the Yated, and I found the beginning of the Yated told us Obama was about to call Egypt to be the number one phone call of the presidency, to show that all the newspapers, the number one phone call means that's what I'm all about. Those are the guys I like. That's Kezereh V'Kadesh. He was about to dial Egypt to show whose side he's on. By mistake, he dialed Israel. I saw this in the newspapers. And I keep repeating this to make a joke. Now, when you repeat something, Hashem says, you talk like that, I'll keep doing that type of stuff. So I take responsibility for what happened this morning. It's a similar bug. Like, they made a mistake. And this is going to happen all the time. You know what he did? Biden did? Biden is, everyone Meshuggah? And I said, I didn't run after him. And everyone was, this person's Shekel. First of all, his whole party has it in for him that he's way too good to Israel. He didn't want, he sees fire. He let them go weiter for a long time. He was very, he was too much not what they're supposed to be. There we go. Aleph Beis. I was on the phone with somebody talking about all his problems. Come inside. Everybody said there's plenty of room over here. So he, what was I saying? So yeah, I got a phone call from a guy. He says he was about to leave Gilo, but Biden suddenly gave how many? 1,500, 2,000, 10,000? What did he give?
1,400 a person.
1,400 a person. As soon as Biden gave the money, thanks to Biden, this guy's going to learn Gilo in another few years. Thanks to Biden. And someone else comes over, Biden's mama saved me. He's the violet, Biden's supporting the Gilite. He knows what he's doing. So I laugh at this stuff. You laugh at it. By the way, at that same newspaper, I saw at that time with Obama, there was another thing over there. It said that Baal B'tachon laughs at the world. He has a ball. He has so much fun. Everyone's crying and he's laughing. Rabbi Akiva by the Churban. Everyone's crying, he's laughing. Rabbi Akiva's Rebbe was Nachum Ish Gamzu, the Baal B'tachon of the universe. Nachum Ish Gamzu was a Malach Alikim. His line was B'tachon. His name was B'tachon. Nachum Ish Gamzu. And Rabbi Akiva was his Talmud. He put him on his feet. That's why Rabbi Akiva became the greatest of all the Tanaim, because he had a B'tachon number one, and he left. Even during the Churban, everyone's crying. He's laughing. The Baal B'tachon laughs his head off. A Churban. When you see the Churban, you know what it means? Like Rabbi Akiva said, imagine so much sorrows, imagine how good it's going to be. If it's so bad, when something bad happens, you say, imagine how good it could be. Because me, the type of Meruba, 500 times more. So I'll tell you what happened with this. On the same newspaper, I read the back of the newspaper, said the following. It said that Obama was trying to chanfa Bin Laden. Bin Laden was a Russia Marusha. He did the Twin Tower job, right? So he wanted to show him, it's fine, we understanding. I'm also one of those types, like you, who you gotta do these type of things. It's important. Blow up buildings, and kill the Jews. Well, I'm into the same sugya. So he wanted to show that we're in the same mahalach. So So he did. So he gave a gesture towards bin Laden. Bin Laden went berserk. Bin Laden said, "Get out of here! I hate you like no one's business." Why? So this is what they wrote. Because an Arab needs an enemy. If there's an enemy, he'll fight him. It's fun. And you get money for that. He's out of business if America suddenly becomes a good guy. There's no fun. It's over. If America's against him, he's against America. Then he has millions of support because I'll go against them. But as soon as America becomes, now we're best friends with you guys, you blew it. There's no wars. There's no nothing, no support. He's out of business. In that same Yated, I saw that. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something else. I'll tell you half of the Gazach. First of all, I'm speaking a little bit about Shalom. I'll tell you a Maisa. Half of the story. That Machlekes. There are people with big shittas. Don't think we're all nucky. It's impossible. First of all, I hold that we're all great. And what does the Eibishter want? We can't, how much better could we be? We're gewaldig. There's no Machlekes. If there is any, I pride myself with my amaratzis of not knowing anything about it. I work on being an Amoritz and not knowing dirty stuff. Do you know what happened? This Rosh Yeshiva and that Rebbe and this. I don't want to hear that garbage. My ears don't do well with it. So I choose not to know anything. So therefore, anyway, I hold Kulam Zakai and I paskin. I want my bezin here of 71 tzaddikim. We paskin. Klal Yisrael is Kulei Zakai. There's no machlekes nowhere. Everybody's out. Now look, some people fight. That's not their fault. They're nervous. Everyone's nervous today. You expect, it's not like a real machlekes. People are nervous. Leave them alone. They're broken into thousands of pieces. You can't be done people all tzibrochen. There's a chazal that says about the Mama Rachel. When she started fetching to Yaakov Avinu, Zephardi says, Yaakov was defending the Eibishter. You're going against the Eibishter. You're making me into a god over here. I'm the one in charge. So, Zog Chazal. How did Yaakov talk like that to Rachel? Rachel was wrong. But how could Yaakov be upset even though she's wrong? Kach nenen es a ma'ukis as a lesson of Chazal. That's the way you speak to Tzibrachan people? Am I your this? Tachas al kivani? You don't talk like that to a broken-hearted woman. So you see from there, she was potter. Leave her alone. She's Tzibrachan. Our door is b'cheskas Tzibrachan. No matter what they do, they're broken. Leave them alone. I know people, but you should have learned Musa. Go learn Musa. Who could learn Musa? You think it's so easy? They're all potter. I paskin. Everybody is Kodesh Kedoshim. And I have no suffix that what I'm saying now is making a Roshim and Shemayim. Who agrees with me? Everybody. See that? You guys inside, a makbid, you should raise your hands, even though I don't see you. A makbid, Kalalashin, all Kalalashin Nikkis. You hear me? I want you all to be on board with me. We are Paskin, Klaisos, Kulei, Zakai. You know what words do? You think words are a joke? Even in a joke, you say I'll tiftach pelasan. I once saw somebody say something derogatory about someone else, and it came true. A horrible thing happened. Because I'll tiftach pelasan. You open your mouth, watch what's going to happen. Don't speak negative stuff. Watch out. So I was made the type of maruba. You say something positive. You know what positive words do? There's no suffix right now. There's a bracha over all God's scholars. People in hospitals are all getting better. People are getting shidduchim suddenly thanks to us. We just pass. We're all zakai. The way you look at things has a power. The bells that Rebbe held. I did this myself. I had a guy in 12-step program that I couldn't talk to him after a while. For 6 months, he used to call me up, cry his heart out. He was an Eved Nirtza to his Tivus. He was a Shrek. The poor guy. I spoke to a Rebbe about him, a Rav, a Chashav Rav, behind his back, and we both decided he's a tzaddik goma because according to his parents, he had trouble. They left him in the street. It wasn't his fault. Whatever. All different home problems. And he tried so hard. He says they can't steal him to improve himself. So the Rav, I was the guy's a tzaddik goma. According to his situation, so he does terrible things. So what? As soon as we said that night, the guy tells me, he didn't know what we were doing. I just got to hear a tshuva. When you say nice things, things happen. They're real. We just read for the whole Klal Israel from Din. The way you look at things, in the Barak, they told me this 10 million times. You don't even have to be such a tzaddik. The door of Achav used to win the wars. Achav was a chayte, umachtias a rabim lahachis. He used to write on the gates of Shomron. That was his capital city. Achav kafa b'vekei Yisrael. And he used to win wars. He was Melech Bekipi. He ran the world. He was a bomb. And Shaul HaMelech tzaddik Yisayid Olam. He was from. He killed out all the machshepes. Shaul HaMelech's army, they were from. They ate God kosher, I'm joking. They were real from. They used to lose the war, say Chazal, because there was Lashon Hara going on. You blew it. In the Barak, I heard this 100 times. I don't care how good you are. If you speak Lashon Hara, you have machlokes, you're finished. I don't care. But he just finished Shas. Yeah, but he's still angry at this one, it's not worth a penny. It'd be better if you would be one of, but he just gave $1 million to tzedakah. Well, I'm very happy about your $1 million. You still hate those types, and you still don't like them. They turn you off, yeah, right? You're not working on Ahavas Yisrael. It's not worth a penny. Go give another $1 million. It's worth nothing. Go finish Shas again. It's worth nothing. Why is the Mashiach here? You know what we need? We need more people getting up late and missing minyan and doing nothing, but not hating anybody. I'm joking. You don't have to do that. It's not a mitzvah. But those guys, when it comes to this, those guys are much better. As far as bringing the Gula, they're by far much better than these Chashuva guys. Look, Kairach was a problem. Kairach knew how to learn more than all of us put together. And so was Doiga Doimi. Oh, was he good. A guy in Olam Hashem loved this Torah. Achi Seifel, you spoke to me, you were like speaking to the Urmatumim. These people were bombs in Torah and Yira. And Doiga Doimi was mispaided. You know that? He had Bedidus. He was an Avardig, a Breslov, I don't know what he was. But he was one of the real frummies. You know what happened? With his this and with the learning and with the chesed, doesn't mean nothing. If you don't love each other, you blow it. Stop being such a great guy. Stop giving a matana to people that you don't like. Stop being like David. The whole David is one story. All the stories of David is one thing. Not his learning, not his chesed, not his diktik hamitz, is very schwach. The whole story is Shmolal, Shmolbeis. He's nice to Avner, he's nice to Shaul, he's nice to Abshalom, all the bums, he loves them. All the people who hate him, Shem Amalekal, leave him alone, don't kill him. The whole David is, let's be nice to people we can't stand. Work on it! Get a hold, but you gotta have a guy that's different, that really a different shita, and Dafka go to him and decide I love him. And first of all, don't be scared of him. He doesn't mean it. It's his minhag. That's the way he is. He doesn't mean it. Don't look at him like your God. First thing is, don't be afraid of him. Love him. He's probably more insecure than you are. I once walked into a famous, a group that's they got all the answers. One of those, a very happy group also. I don't want to say the name. They're but known to be very geschmack and love it. They got all the answers. And I came in there and I was scared. Those days I still used to get scared. Today it's over. I'm scared of who? I'm scared of the Eibishter. Anyway, I walked in there. I'm just scared of you guys because you guys are very chashiv. Guys who come to get Amuna, guys who come to hear Mendel, they're super chashiv. You're the only guys I'm still afraid of. I'm joking. But what I want to say, so I walked in there and the Gabbai, I'm friends with the Gabbai, started telling me what's going on. See that guy? He never just lost his wife. He's also braching a guy. Him? He looks like he owns the world. And that guy over there, he has trouble with his kid. The cops wanted to put him in jail, and he doesn't sleep at night. Him? I thought he's a ganzer, he's a big famous, this. You don't know what he's going through. One by one, the whole place was just as crazy as me and you and everyone else. But everybody thinks, and they're afraid of each. It starts with fear. Come inside, Rabbi say. It starts, you're afraid of him, and you get intimidated by him. You're scared of him. What are you scared of him? He's different. Leave him alone. Hashem made him. It's his minhag. Let him walk the way he walks. It doesn't mean any bad. He's more afraid of you than you're of him. What's back there? Kum tarai. Anyway, I want to end up with this story that's the best story you ever heard in your life. And I told him, this Tisha B'Av, we're going to do tshuva. What tshuva? Everyone's a Muslim. I have a big hard time with it. I'm serious about it. Come on, everybody's trying. Everybody's great. Come on, every one of them. I come wherever you go over the whole world. There's so much Torah. There's so much. I tell this to the Eibishter. I once couldn't catch a bus in Eretz Yisrael. It was late at night, no buses. And I davened, and I did bטחון, and I started thanking, nothing worked. Then I started saying, Eibishter, you have the most wonderful, Klal Yisrael is gewaldig. Boom, a bus came on the spot. I said, those are the magic words. Hashem likes that stuff. Say good things about Klal Yisrael, about Lakewood, Lakewood, the Hasidim, oh, delicious, those Sephardim, those Russians, delicious, the Bukharians, every one of them, all, the Yekis, oh, I'm a half Yeki. The Yekis, and, the Harrys. The Harrys are great guys. What's wrong with the Harry? They're all L'Shem Shemayim. They're all, I'm joking. I'm lying to make fun of myself. So we all make fun of each other. Big spiel. We love each other. Everybody loves each other. It's over. Mashiach is coming. I paskin. It's so good. It's overkill. I'm shocked. Mashiach isn't here. All tzaddikim. They're all trying. You know how many people call me up? There's so much Yiras Shamayim. It's ridiculous. So much Yiras Shamayim. Men, women, kids. Yiras Shamayim. There's so many kids who feel guilty if they did an Aveira. That's Yiras Shamayim. The kid's worried, or the parent, maybe I should be this guy. And if they rebel a little bit, leave them alone. They're humans. They're great guys. Klal Yisrael it's done. I just want to tell you, for those people who are still fighting around, it's not Negea, but it's a creep. I like the story. It's great. I made it up. Before I say the story, I'll tell you one more thing. People have peklach, right? I was in Torah Masera. They get together, the Malamdim, and I was schmoozing with a guy. And the guy told me a story. His wife's father, had a heart disease. And as soon as he got Alzheimer's, the heart disease disappeared. How did that happen? How did heart disease disappear? You know how? How did heart disease stay heart disease? When a guy's day and night, he thinks of my heart condition, my heart. The more you think, you got a boo-boo, keep thinking about it, talking about it, worrying about it. You want to keep gaining weight? You know why people have a hard time losing weight? Because all day long they're observing their belly. The more they focus, it's getting bigger. And the fear makes it get even bigger. The more you're afraid of that belly, I'll tell you another story. Listen to this. This guy had terrible varicose veins from the family way back. It was terrible. He used to walk around. He felt those veins. I can't even stand like a mensch. The veins are terrible. Look disgusting. And he has a family history all over. The uncle and everybody got it. So until one day he started gaining weight, and he got extremely involved in his stomach. And I promise you, it's a true story. As soon as he got heavily involved in his stomach, oh, did I eat that? Uh-oh. How's it going? What's it going? The varicose veins disappeared. Because you're not focused there. The big Yisrael, people, they focus, they're making it worse. Get out of it. That's why I recommend. You want me to stop? I don't know. Go do public service. Run away from all your peklach and do something for Klal Yisrael. We're going to have two of my chevra are opening yeshivas. Here we have a Rosh Yeshiva right here, Rabbi Fried. I just sent another guy to you. People, he's bringing back the Novandik full. You want to get the community? He's putting on the Novandik. This is Murday. Take a look. Everyone's raving over this stuff. He has, how many guys? You have 10 guys over there? 2 hours a day? An hour and a half a day? How do you do it? An hour and a half a day. They love it. I speak to them. They're going crazy. And he has real Novandik. You're the answer of my tefillas. I thought, Eibishter, please bring real Novandik. Here comes Fried. And he knows what he's doing. I wish maybe he can teach me a thing or two. Viramidas, just like real. It's unbelievable. Anyway. So, I want to tell you. So, I'm going to end with this story. It's half a bigger story. You can all leave. I'm not makbid. You'll all leave or take out your pillows. You heard what My sister told me.